Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Historically Black Sense News. I am your host, Shamai Cook. We have a jam-packed show on tonight, so let's get started. Our first guest is a 2012 Tuskegee alum who is an art director, designer, and creative strategist. Please welcome Osei Hill to the show. Hello, Osei.
Hello, how you doing, man? Thank you guys for having me. Excited to be here.
I am well. Thank you so much for allowing us to speak to you tonight. First of all, you are 2012, like I said in the intro, 2012 Tuskegee alum. Can you
Very,
talk?
very proud alum.
Very,
Yeah.
very proud alum. Can you talk about take us down memory lane, and how was it back then in the 2012 as being a student at Tuskegee?
Absolutely. Well, if we're going down memory lane, I have to give the full story. I'm fortunate to be a native son of Tuskegee. Both my parents are faculty and administrators at the school for over 40 years. So I grew up literally on the campus. So my early days, even elementary school, right after school, be going to that campus. So I really grew up around it. Had the chance to go abroad for high school, but came back because I wanted to get back into that community that I love so much. So what it was like, man, it was one of the greatest decisions of my life, honestly. I had opportunities to go to the Ivy League route, and I think I made the absolute best choice for me. And the main reason that is really because of the legacy, obviously, but the student body. I mean, I got to meet so many different amazing people that are now lifelong friends, many of them done business ventures with, and really brought light and love to their communities, both in the Tuskegee area and abroad. So it was a spot for me for sure.
Now, you have helped transform East Side Golf into a global recognition brand throughout major collaborations with the Jordan brand, with Mercedes Benz, and the Atlanta Braves. How do you use your design to challenge and expand what golf culture looks like?
What a great question. Great question. Well, at Tuskegee, I studied architecture and product design with a concentration in marketing. So in that curriculum, you learn really how to problem solve using creativity as your major tool. And have applied that obviously to a lot of building projects. But at Eastside, um, what we really were focusing on is challenging a 500-year-old game, and how do we welcome both new energy, new life, and new people to something that was so established. And we knew, again, the thinking heads of that particular brand, two Morehouse alums, Mr. Elijah Janaku and co-founder Earl Cooper, they knew that they had the expertise within the game. So if they had somebody who could really develop products and stories that connect to people outside the ropes, what they call them, the golf course greens, and bring those people, make them feel more comfortable, then we could have we could make a lot of noise in that industry, which would be positively taken up by our community. So we started with products. I've moved obviously into activations and now brick and mortar as well.
You describe designs as both a craft and a calling. Walk us through, how you approach a project. You have projects right now, and we can give our audience a visual. Walk us through, how do you approach a project?
Absolutely. So every project to me has an end user. And as a creative designer, I like to think about that person on the very first day. Once I find out the problem, it's how do we get to a solution that fits them, fits the program, and what their needs are. And what we're seeing on the screen here is one of our newest projects, our most recent collaboration with the Nike brand. At this point, we've done 15 footwear projects. So we're really excited about this one, which launched privately last month and then globally this month on October 2nd. So how we get to a place like this, again, because we start with the end consumer, we like to walk them through stories that really are authentic to them, that resonate with stories that they've held or memories they've cherished since childhood, connect them to where we want them to go, and also help them see the community that are also on that path. So those two particular shoes are telling the story of Sky. The collection is called Take Flight, or Eastside Air. And that really came about as we've been going through this journey with our consumer base, from the grass to the mud, bringing everyone together, now taking them into the air and beyond. We wanted to really celebrate that story. And obviously, me being a native son of Tuskegee, there's a small touch to Tuskegee Airmen to me every time I see or think about the skies. As I just was at the National Airmen Museum this past weekend celebrating with some visitors in town. But those two particular shoes showed the clouds, was the white shoe, which is a golf spike shoe. And then the blue shoe shows the sky with the contrails. We have Eastside Golf inscribed on the side, and the Nike team let us really uh, create a special mold so it would represent our brand as well as theirs, so we could really bring that story to life.
There's a lot of storytelling in here. Can you talk about how important storytelling is when you are marketing and branding for a major brand and collaborating with major brands like Nike? Can you talk about how important storytelling is?
Absolutely. Honestly, storytelling is everything. If not, they would just be a pair of shoes, right? If you went into any retail store now, you have thousands of options, really, when you think about the online market as well. So, what we like to do is really hone in on a story we want to tell. The best footwear products, moments, and brands on the planet are ones where people have emotional connection. So every shoe is not for everybody, just like every story isn't for everybody. So we like to be really intentional in telling stories that are relevant to our culture, but then that can be elevated and celebrated by everyone. So again, it starts with a great story, and we take pride in not just putting out a million shoes, right? We're very intentional about what we make, how we make it, who we make it for, and how it's cherished.
You have through as an alum of Tuskegee, you're worked with HBCU graduates and major brands. How has your HBCU experience shaped your mission to create access and opportunity through design?
Excellent. I mean, again, it's really that foundation. I am very fortunate again. My great grandfather was the president of a HBCU university. So it's something that's been a legacy of my family for a very long time. So it's my privilege to continue that work. But on the ground level, it's really the people that I get to meet every single day. The students, again, my mom is still there math tutoring, probably right now, to help these students make sure that they're acing their math courses. So having somebody who's given 30, 40, 50 years of their life so that the next generation can have these sharp skills no matter what major they go into. It growing up seeing that it was that dedication, that passion that I embodied, and now I want to bring that into my work. Obviously, elevate our HBCUs and many more. So I give a lot of time and a lot of love to HBCUs and do a lot of work with a lot of different brands to make sure that they have some creativity with some strong foundation behind them for sure.
You've spoken at Harvard, Ivy Leagues like Harvard and Stanford and Nike, and back at Tuskegee. What's the most important lesson you share with young creatives trying to break into this industry?
Gosh. I would say the number one thing is it's a competitive field, right? Like that's just the honest truth. And it's easy for our culture to understand sports, right? At the highest level, only the best athletes make the team. And in this particular industry, it's very similar. So, what does that mean to a young designer? If this is something you want and you're truly passionate about it, I mean, I was the kid drawing in kindergarten every day I could, in between, even English lessons or learning how to spell. I was drawing every day. So, what I would say is get your 10,000 hours as early as possible if you're truly passionate about this industry or any others, right? The work is going to show itself. Yes, we can draw. Yes, we can sketch. And now that we're moving into a new age where there's a lot of computer aided design or AI design, you're still going to need those skill sets, that the foundation of your ability to create, problem solve, and visualize your ideas and help others do it. So again, if you're interested in it, you have to put in the work. And if you do, though, there's so many opportunities for you and new emerging technologies that are looking for those skills.
Jose Hill, thank you so much for coming on Historically Black Sense. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
No problem. Let's keep it in Tuskegee University. Our next guest is a junior veterinary student at Tuskegee University. Please welcome Aaron DuBois to the show. How you doing, Aaron?
How are you doing?
I am well. I am well. Thank you so much. I know before the show you were saying you just got back from surgery, so we appreciate you taking time out of your day speaking to us. You're balancing 5 major leadership positions while pursuing one of the most demanding degrees in higher education. What drives you to take so much, and how do you stay grounded all through this?
Right. So I think it kind of starts out with just having a good schedule, and also having a good support system. Like, honestly, like that's half the battle right there. As long as you have people that believe in you, people that are willing to, go to bat for you and keep you up when days are rough, I feel like anything's possible. But as far as just handling all those things, it's just really good time management, staying on top of everything, and having good people around you, not only in your support system, but people that you're working with. You know, a lot of these roles, I don't handle everything on my own. I have a really good team of people that also help me out with these things and make sure that we accomplish a common goal.
As someone passionate about representation in veterinary medicine, what barriers have you seen that keep represented communities out in this field?
Yeah, so I think some of those barriers that exist in today's age, for one, is just attendance in vet schools. You know, not many African Americans are attending vet school at the moment, and that's, you know, part of the reason why I've been going so hard and, you know, pushing this, because when I was a young man, I never thought this was possible. You know, I went through many trials and tribulations as far as, you know, not believing in myself, and it took for, you know, someone else that looked like me to pour life into me to know that, you know, I could get here. So I think our number one barrier is just, you know, representing the field and continuing to advocate for more people of not only color, but of all minorities to, you know, want to strive for something greater, such as, you know, becoming a veterinarian, which is very difficult.
You made an interesting transition from competitive water polo to veterinary medicine. How do the lessons from from being an all conference athlete, showing up at to surgery, how do you use those skills what you're doing right now?
So it's something I've spoke with on a podcast recently. Is I think that intersection between athletics and, you know, professionals, and with anything you do in life as far as a professional, go hand in hand. Like on those days where, you know, things are rough and I'm struggling, I can lean on that, you know, personality that I use as an athlete, as far as, you know, continue with a battle until the last snap, or continue with a battle until the last, you know, water polo minute. And I think over time, you know, those things all just came together and allow you to, you know, be more efficient.
Between your partnerships with brands like Fabletics, you're building a very unique personal brand as a vet student. Why is that so important to you to show that, you know, veterinarians have skills as well?
It's really important to me to share that, only because I feel like people think that, you know, you have to be put into a box in order, especially as an African American, you have to be put into a box in order to, you know, hold all these hats or wear all these titles. But realistically, you can be whoever you want to be. You know, if you want to be someone that loves listening to music or someone that goes to festivals. My apologies on all the noise in the background. My dogs are just relentlessly playing. But you can be anything you want to be in this world. And I feel like through, I'm sorry, my dogs had me lose my track of mind. Could you ask me the question one more time? My apologies.
I was just talking about, you know, that barrier, you know, you transition to being like kind of a personality in a way for, you know, collaborating with Fabletics and personal brands like that. Why is that so important to show that, you know, veterinarians have skills and media presence?
Yes, and that's important because at least in the veterinary field, I feel like, you know, veterinarians often end up, like I was mentioning before, putting themselves in that sort of box, and that is contributing to, you know, and veterinary medicine has one of the highest suicide rates of, you know, any profession out there. And I think a lot of that just contributes, you know, the overworking of veterinarians, as well as veterinarians feeling as though they have to, you know, be there for everyone or fit in this box. And I want to show people that, you know, you can be a veterinarian, but a veterinarian doesn't have to be everything that you are. You know, on the side, like you mentioned, partnering with brands and doing other things outside of the field, and just kind of using veterinary medicine as an avenue to keep, you know, shining my light that God provided.
We appreciate you so much, Aaron DuBose, for coming on Historically Black Sense. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. You have a good one.
You too. Best of luck to you. Our final guests are together. One is a philosophy student at Spelman College, and the other is the director of the UNCF's Student Professional Develop Programs. Please welcome Nia Sarai Perry and Akia Frazier Jackson. How are you? Hello, ladies. How are you?
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for coming on, and we appreciate it for your time today. I want to start off, Mitch Frazier Jackson. Can you talk about what UNCF does, and how does it help students at HBCUs or students of color pursuing a higher education?
So UNCF is the largest contributor for reducing financial barriers for students that are attending all colleges, not just HBCUs. And so as a part of my program with student professional development programs, we actually help to cultivate students to go into their desired fields. We help them to explore fields that they may not have known are there, that pique their interest with some of our corporate partners to help them get internships, fellowships, as well as scholarships to help them to learn more about their fields of study through those internships and fellowships, and also to help relieve some of those financial barriers.
Yeah, Nia Sarai, like I say, you're at Spelman College, and you intern at Walt Disney through the UNCF corporate scholars program. Can you talk about your experience there and how much did you enjoy it?
I had the best time at the Walt Disney Company. If you know anything about me, you know that I'm an aspiring corporate attorney. And so ever since my time at Spelman, I was very intentional about curating my experiences, the internships, the leadership positions, the organizations I joined in order to propel me on that career path. So when I saw that the opportunity was open to work at the Walt Disney Company, one of the biggest corporations in the world, I knew that it was something that I couldn't pass up. I learned so much about myself. I learned how to navigate a workspace as a Black woman. I learned how to just kind of fit and try to know where my work can shine and what I can bring to the table, even as an intern for such a large company. You can kind of feel very small or trapped in a bubble, but it taught me at least that all of the work that I did was meaningful. And I had a lot of fun while doing it. I met like amazing people. I still talk to them to this day. We all reminisce on our times at Disney, how much we miss it. So it's just an opportunity that I just would not have traded for the world.
Ms. Frazier Jackson, can you talk about how important it is for students to get experience beyond the classroom through the Walt Disney Company and UNCF?
Absolutely. So, especially in this workforce, students are going to have very stiff competition. And so they're no longer competing against with their peers, but also with industry professionals. And so what we do within student professional development, as well as with our corporate partners, is that we provide them with real world experiences so that they can have a portfolio when they're going into industry, so that they can have some of those skill sets that folks are looking for, and also have things to put on their resume to show that they have experience in those industries. Our internships are not traditional internships. Students are working on projects. They're collaborating with leaders, executive leaders. We make sure that they have exposure to mentors that will help guide them as they go through their collegiate career, to make sure that they have everything that they need, not just for the experience, but also for the network that's needed while trying to enter into the workforce.
Nia Sarai, how has studying philosophy at Spelman shaped your approach to business problem solving, especially during your internship at Disney?
Yes. So if you know anything about my department, the philosophy department at Spelman College, it is extremely rigorous. If you don't know how to write, critically think, problem solve, you will definitely know by the time you graduate. I think those are transferable skills that people don't really think about when they think someone about pursuing a major such as philosophy. But my ability to take in large amounts of information, my ability to process information, my ability to form my thoughts coherently and be able to distribute that to other people so they understand it as well was very transferable when I worked with the Walt Disney Company, especially because I was communicating with people all across the world, all different business sectors. It helped greatly in just my ability to thrive and my ability to hop on a very fastly moving train that you can imagine what it's like working at a company like Walt Disney. My philosophy major most definitely set me up for success.
Before I let you both of you ladies go, can you talk about how important is it, for people to take opportunities like this when they come across people's emails, or when people come across it? How important is it, and why should they do it? I'm gonna start off with Ms. Fraser Jackson.
So it's definitely important because we talk a lot about networking. What you will find is that now when you're trying to enter the workforce, it really isn't going on the job boards. It's great to go to the career fairs, but it really is building your executive team. And so through the work that we do, especially with the Walt Disney Company, with the Walt Disney Company UNCF Scholars Program, these type of opportunities are built for students who are ready and hungry to go into whatever it is that may interest them. And so when the opportunity arises, we always tell the students to seize the moment. It may not be something that you think that you may be interested in, or maybe even not qualify for. We always tell students to apply and make sure that you don't limit yourself with what you think is not possible. Anything is possible. All you have to do is put your mind to it and have the right team behind you to push you to and through your successes.
Go ahead, Nia Sarai.
I would most definitely agree with Arnika. From a student's perspective, it can seem very, very daunting. But if you know anything about Spelman College and Spelman Knights, we are undaunted by the fight. So we are well aware of the challenges that we face as Black women specifically, especially when entering the workforce and corporate spaces with companies as large as the companies that the UNCF Student Professional Development Programs have introduced us to. And so when you understand the privilege that it is to be able to have this direct access that most people traditionally would not be able to have, you really have a sense of pride in it. And with that, it will encourage you to do a good job, and not only for yourself, of course, for your future career endeavors, but also so other people could come behind you. So the students who are first years, second years, third years also have those same opportunities, because as long as we keep that door open, the more students will be able to come through, and the more that we'll be able to make a greater impact in these companies where we really wouldn't have much of a starting chance traditionally.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, ladies, so much. You gave a lot of information. I hope everybody who's out there watching and seeing take the opportunity. Is UNCF have any opportunities right now that students can apply for?
Well, actually, the Walt Disney Company UNCF Scholars Program is open. And so the application is up now. They can go to uncf.org/the Walt Disney Company UNCF Scholars Program to apply. Deadline is going to be on October 31st. So we are looking forward to welcoming in a new cohort of students. And as you can see, working with Nia Sarai, we hold our students close to us. They are part of our family, so you'll get to meet some of the scholars as well as you progress and go through this opportunity that is available currently right now.
What's the qualifications that you have to be? Junior, senior? How does that work out?
Sure. Thank you for that. So we are looking for juniors and seniors that will be graduating in 2027, not 2026. And then there's a host of opportunities that are available. So if students are interested in going into HR, PR, marketing, animal science, there is a plethora of opportunities that are available through that particular opportunity. And then we also have partnerships with FX, with our FX storytelling program that is open, as well as if students are interested in going into sports journalism, we have a program with ESPN with the Roden Fellows program. all provided through the Walt Disney Company. So we are excited for this opportunity to be available and actually to have Nia Sarai to talk about her experience firsthand so that you can see that someone that looks like you had that opportunity. An HBCU, proud HBCU student had that opportunity, and she is paving the way for the next generation of scholars to come through our program.
Well, everybody, apply. If you heard her, apply. You never know what might happen. Thank you, ladies, so much for coming on, and hopefully you inspire people to apply and take that risk.
I
Yeah.
look forward to it. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much.
No problem. No problem. Let's go into our let's transition into our topic discussion. HBC homecoming season has kicked off and it's underway. Unfortunately, too often our celebrations are interrupted by unfortunate events that include violence. South Carolina State recently experienced a homecoming where students were shot. Let's talk about safety and tips for students who may be experiencing this for the first time. I have Deuce Tucker, my colleague and pal and the FAMU alum here with me, and I think we have Heaven Cunningham, the Cheney University of Pennsylvania. She's here. Her camera's not on, but I think we're working out that. But Deuce Tucker, how are you doing today?
I'm blessed and well, man. How you doing today?
I am blessed, black, and highly favored. That gets your perspective on this as someone who has graduated as an alum of FAMU. What are your top safety tips that you would give to freshmen going to homecoming for the first time?
It's crazy because actually this weekend I started my homecoming tour.
Wow, that's right. We did talk about that last week. That's right, you did.
Yeah, so I just went to Alabama State University's homecoming this past weekend. It was cool. Had a lot of excitement, a lot of great food. However, I'm on a fast, so I can't eat it, but it looked really good, and the aura and the energy was good. And I was talking to a young individual. He's a second semester freshman. Mm-hmm. Yeah, second semester freshman, and I don't know how we just started communicating and conversing, but he was informing me about his inquiries as well as thoughts in reference to having a good time at a homecoming, because as we know, sometimes at institutions, whether they're PWIs and unfortunate HBCUs, especially big events, unfortunate circumstances happen. And there was a shooting that happened actually at one of the classic games this past weekend in Montgomery. And it really made me realize that it's essential for you to not necessarily, if you can, this is my opinion, it's not always good to be the last person there, And that might sound crazy, like, whoa, what I'm saying? I go to this institution, I go to the university. I definitely understand that. However, you don't know everyone's intentions. You don't know if someone wants to just have their viral moment or be that guy where they feel as if they're big, bad, and tough. So if I had to recommend it, if you know an event is ending, it can be a party. It can be a football game, Don't be, unless it's like a nail biter, you don't have to be the last one there. Because you never know someone's mindset in references of what their intentions are and what they're aiming to do. And second, make sure that you are aware of your surroundings. When you get that gut feeling, because I have had it multiple times, when you get that gut feeling like, hey, okay, it's a lot of
nonsense
and young individuals or just people out in the area, whereas if it just feels as if it's, the energy is different. If you know what I'm saying, then it's time to leave the area. Those are my top two pieces of advice.
So how can students look out and for each other and stay safe while still enjoying their festivities?
Oh my man, you have to make sure you have a clear mind in reference of sober judgment. And when I say sober judgment, I understand that, a lot of people, of course, over 21, perhaps might indulge within certain activities throughout the aura or era of homecoming. However, it's imperative for you to be able to actually have a specific balance and have associates that you trust and that you believe that will have your best interest in when they can tell or see that you have had a little bit too much either to drink, eat, or anything else of that matter that can carry you under a certain influence. And I honestly feel as if it's imperative as well for you to know your specific limits, because it's your responsibility to be able to uphold your aura as well as your upkeep in reference of thousands on thousands of people. So
How did you balance academics while homecoming week?
honestly, man, I got everything done in the beginning because I know who I am. So everybody knows homecoming week, especially at HBCU, the whole week is fun specifically,
Mhm.
but the fun really doesn't kick up until about, I'm gonna say, well, at FAMU it was the whole week. But when it comes to like general, usually it's like a Wednesday night. So if I
Okay.
know we have assignments or a paper due at the end, because sometimes teachers want to test our discipline, I will get those things done in the first 3 days, honestly. And I will ensure that I checked it, made sure that any partner or person I'm working on a project with, they can be able to give me some constructive criticism, sharpen it up, and boom, I'm turning it in. And the rest of the week is groove time. Now, honestly, for me, when it comes to your classes as well, bro, like, what's the purpose of missing your class? It's 45 minutes, bro. You can't take an hour to feed your mind while people are just hanging out wherever they are. It's 12 o'clock in the afternoon, bro. People, regular individuals, are either at work or they're in class, or unfortunately in their dorms wasting time. And I wanted to be that person in class because I needed to finish in 4 years at least. So that was my personal preference. Now everybody, scheduling is different in reference to when they finish college, which is cool. As long as they're focused. But mine, my mom said, "Hey, you graduate in 4 years." So
What makes you're a proud Rattler? Is what makes your HBCU homecoming different from the rest?
And it's coming up too next week, dog. When I say FAMU's homecoming is like no other, man. Oh man. See, no offense to all the other institutions that are listening, but it's something about that Rattler pride that you can't get away from. Every Rattler you meet, especially one that indulged within the confidence and the passion that Florida A&M University exudes with the name, with the way they move, the way we talk, the way we groove. It's not like any other. Literally, first day, I mean, we start hanging our flags up, I think the third week of school, because we know what's about to go on. Literally, when I say homecoming, it's like a special occasion where you have people coming from London trying to have a good time. And you see as soon as you see those green and orange flags going down Wannish Way or MLK Junior Boulevard, oh, sookie. When I tell you, it's not like any other, brother. I promise you. And you see the excitement come out of people. It can be somebody walking to class with their sweatpants and hoodie. Man, when I tell you, dog, Thursday hit, man, they got that Louis V shirt on with the Louis V pants. Not pants, but the shoes to match. And you have the glasses, the Prada glasses, the hat, and everybody make sure they have their hat. Not their hat, their haircut and their hair right. What that boy Will Smith said, fresh from the barbershop or fly from the beauty salon. Like it's like summertime, but in fall. Summertime. You got to experience it, because I definitely will be there. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you taking us down memory lane, Deuce Tucker.
I also want to tell people something. Homecoming is specifically for alumni. You know why? Because you're coming home. Hey, I just gave y'all a space. So I don't want nobody saying, "Oh, you going down memory lane." Hey, when you go to homecoming, this is when you come reflect. You see friends that move to different cities. You see friends from other organizations. Y'all coming to well together and have a great, magnificent time for those 3-4 days. But you treasure them until the next time.
And Deuce is a member of Mega Sci-Fi on top of that, so they know they love to have a good time as well.
Yes, we love serving the community first of all.
Yes. Our community, that's a given.
Absolutely. We love serving the community, first of all, because we have to make sure that all of mankind is taken care of. But of course, God gives us the strength to do these things. But Omega Sci-Fi, we do like to do well together in unity, because friendship is essential. So
listen. If you're at FAMU and running to Deuce, make sure you take a picture with him and tag us at Historically Black Sense, and make sure he gives you some chicken, because the Qs are known for chicken. We appreciate you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Thank you to all of our guests, all of our staff behind the scenes. And we thank you for watching. We love you for watching. For all of us here at Historically Black Sense, I'm Shamai Cook.
And I'm Deuce Tucker.
And we'll see you guys next week. The action never stops. Bye-bye.
Peace. Stay black.